Happy Friday! Captain Coder here. Another beautiful day. We are working on Space Raiders. This is the prototype 2D space shoot 'em up that I'm putting together to figure out how I want to structure this project for my students. Yeah. So, having fun here. Just did a sign on the Captain Coders Academy Discord, signing on. Today, working on Tuesday Space Shooter. My goal is to get a generative background working. So I want to have a background that automatic generates. And if I finish that, I want to add in a title screen / game over screen for when you first when the game opens, as well as when you get destroyed enough times, go to a game over screen and you can restart from there. Got some green tea with a little hint of lemon in it and some water here. So here we are. Yeah. Get my screen set up here. What I should do, I don't know how to set this up. That's okay. All right. But let's go back to the main camera here. My goal, generative background. Yeah, I want to get stars flying around the background. So let's get some graphics in there. Is there a open showing an explorer? There we go. Space Raiders, space art. We were going to add in star. Interesting. We got a star background. We do star big, star small, and speed line. Get those added into our sprites. Might go find a little planet or something to float around in the background as well. But we'll add these in. I didn't mean to add in the star background. I don't think I need that. Okay, so we are going to write a little script to generate stars for us. The star generator. From Star Generator reminds me of Space Quest. Smab! Happy Friday. Good to see you again. Or is it Sunday for you? Is it Christmas in Smabland? Happy Friday. Nice to see you again. Were you able to get your Monte Carlo simulation working? So not yet, 10 p.m. I'm trying to make a mental note of that. 10 p.m. Is 3 p.m. here. I always feel really funny at the end of that's a bummer. I ended up coming up with a pretty good solution. I realized, so it's funny, the second you take a break, yeah, that makes sense. So the other one worked well with Monte Carlo because it was really there was no like backtracking or something. I don't know. You only had to go 24 steps in the other one. So there was a limit on how many steps you had to run forward to get to the end. This one, it's harder because you don't know how many steps you need to take. My solution that I wrote this morning worked. It was just really slow. I just added memoization to calculating the next blizzard state, and boom. Really fast after that. I felt a little silly that I hadn't done it. Hadn't thought to do it during stream. But you step away from the screen for a minute, your brain, the fog lifts, and suddenly you know what to do. We're gonna write a star generator here. Why do I always feel like I have all of this? Oh, it's because it's all of the stuff in the directory above this one. Chore, add. What am I adding here? Add background sprites. Okay. And we're gonna do a star generator. Scripts. Create a new folder here. Background. Create script star generator. Let's see. I always end up reinventing the step caching from scratch, and I can't be bothered to put myself through it again. Yeah, I really it's interesting because we did on this year's Advent of Code. This is the only year I've done. What were there, 3 or 4? There were 4 problems that were essentially breadth first search, or depth first search, do graph search. And if I just had written a library ahead of time, I could reuse it, right? It's one of the ways I think people manage to solve it so quickly. It's amazing. Some of the times are amazing. It was like someone, like 100 people. If you look at Reddit, I went and looked at Reddit a little bit. On their, the top people, it's like 20 minutes. 100 people have solved part 1 and part 2. It's kind of insane. Let's make this a Spiderway stars. Nice. Sprites. Field. Serialized field. Like that. And then we'll add in our star sprites. I think I'm gonna make, unless tomorrow's crazy, I should get them all. So I'm really pleased with myself. Sticking through, I can't believe I actually managed to do it every day for 20, I haven't done it yet, but I've done it every day for 24 days. I'm really happy with myself. I wasn't expecting to do it. I wasn't expecting to make it all the way through. And I'm really happy with myself. But people like you helped keep me motivated and inspired to continue doing it. I certainly wouldn't have done it if weren't for you and G and Keith all hanging out with me. I'm adding 3 sprites here. Lock this for a second while I add them in. Hang on. So I'm going to add in these sprites like that, and it's going to randomly generate the stars on the background and have them falling, you know, sort of falling down. Oh, that's good. There's not really a reward for getting all 50, is there? Except for like self-satisfaction, I suppose, right? I guess sprites isn't the right thing to do. We probably want to make... Well, leave it as sprites. And then we're going to add in a prefab. Well, let's just add in a star here. Hang on. Sprites. Speed line. Ooh, those look kind of nice. All right. And background object. And we'll create a parent. Actually, we'll just add a thing to this. Create empty. And we will make our background object. You know what? I don't even need to have a background. I just add him to himself. And these should have the on-screen controller, so it clears itself out automatically. And then a speed mover, a velocity thing. No rigid body on these. Let's create a script. Should have done this sooner. New. Oh, make it in the editor. Make it in the editor. Speed controller. All right, so all of my things that have been using speed, I should have done this a long time ago, and we would do public vector2 speed like that, and field serializable, and our update just we move this thing. Public void move, and then our update we call move. We make this a virtual. That way we can like subclass it if we need to, but the default move simply does this. Took me a little while to get my brain wrapped around it. Not speed velocity, but that's fine. Speed times delta time plus like that. Transform.position equals. Oh, can I not? And it wants this to be a vector2. There we go. Easy. Okay. So now I have a speed controller. And we add in a speed controller to this. And this becomes our template that we modify. And the speed controller I guess we make it so we can set it. Or yeah, make it so we can set it. Ooh, and I can add in like a, actually, public void set, not set, speed y, float y goes to, oh, I can't do that. Can I do that? Speed equals new speed.x comma y. Do this. Can. Excellent, excellent. So I want to be able to set these. Maybe I should just do float x, float y. That's probably what I should do, and this is just silly. This feels silly. I'm being silly. That's okay. All right, so my star generator, we're gonna add in a public int max stars. Get private set. And this is gonna keep the stars destroy themselves. Field, serialize field. It's gonna generate these. And then we need like a star count. Vivax, happy Christmas, my friend. Happy Saturday. Oh, I keep saying happy. Did I say happy Friday a little bit ago, I think. Star count. Star count, this is probably... Yeah, the stars are gonna move. They're gonna be like in the background layer, flying past everything on their own. So 45 minutes and it's Sunday. You better get to bed so that Santa can come and leave you presents. This thing here probably doesn't need to. Okay, so the idea is... Gotcha. My star... Oh, I've been adding these to the wrong thing. Remove. Let's put this at 0, 0, 0. Ooh, 3D printer, nice. Any fun plans for your 3D printer? This thing wants to have, am I still locked on there? I am. And we need to have a spawn point at the top as well. So serialize field public vector or spawn, you know, we're gonna be float spawn y equals 5, I think. Public float min x, and we'll set this to negative 2.5. Equals 2.5. Yeah. All right, we'll serialize these. Ooh, that's a nice. Super cool. 3D printer, I've always wanted one. Never been able to justify getting one or building one. I really don't think I would utilize it all that much. Interesting. Yeah. Shutting something down that other people are using is always hard. Like, you don't want to do that to someone if you don't have to, but also you want to use it for something else. Sometimes you just want to use it for something else. So rather than doing this every update, we're gonna do a void spawn stars. All right, so the spawn stars star count. All right, so the idea here is that our star generator, we need the background object needs to have a speed controller on it. Yeah. Let's actually make a star controller. Create script star controller. And the star controller is going to be a subclass of speed controller. So it gets all that, but we're going to override this. Ooh, that's quite a few. Oh, wrong one. Override. So we'll do base.move. And then this thing needs to also be aware of the star generator. So that way it can tell it when it destroys itself. Yeah, it wants to be able to remove that. So we will have a star count instead. We'll have a hash set of star controller. Okay, so I have a hash set of star controllers. Stars. Ooh, and then I don't think I actually need the star controller. This will be interesting. Yeah. Spawn stars. We'll do a public void to spawn stars. We have update stars. And update star is going to take in a hash. I guess doesn't need to take in a hash set. It'd be nice. Way to do that. I'm trying to. I hate that I do this sometimes. I get all caught up in how I should approach such a thing. So there's one thing that's interesting about programming is there's not a million, but there's more than one way to do things, and not sometimes more than one way to do it in a reasonable way. And so, like, how crazy do I want to get with it? I think I just want to do int stars. And then we'll spawn a star. So we'll do a field star controller. Serialized field. This one's going to be public star controller template. This is the thing we're going to clone, and then we'll update the sprite on it. So we're going to say that this thing is required to have a sprite renderer, that we're able to set the sprite. We know that this thing has to have a sprite renderer. And we'll add in a public void set sprite. Sprite. We get component sprite renderer dot sprite equals s. Yeah. What's interesting is you can do public sprite get goes to, oh, this is interesting. This is fun. Dot sprite and that is this. This is a fun thing to teach. Yeah. Fun little delegate getter setter there. Cool. All right. Buybacks. How I don't know if I've asked you, how long have you been programming? I'm just curious. Speed controller. All right, so our star generator, we're gonna spawn a star. All right, so spawn star. It's gonna do instantiate template, and the parent is this dot transform. So we're gonna put it as a child of ourself. Cool, about 6 years. Gotcha. So not a crazy amount of time, but not a short amount of time either. And this will be and we can do sc dot set feed x. Oh, this is so cool. This is so cool. Public float x speed x. I don't know if cool. This could be dumb too. This is dumb. Let's just make this have a private, not be private. You can set this directly. And that's what we're gonna do. sc dot speed dot x. Can we do that? That's the reason I want to be able to do it. So you have to set the whole vector. That's fine. Speed equals new, and we'll get a range x negative random dot range. These can go fast, so we're gonna go between 1 and or 3 and 20. Oh, it's just range. All right, so that'll be our speed. sd dot transform dot position is gonna be new. Spawn x is gonna be a random dot range. Min x, max x, and spawn y. Beautiful. And we will stars plus plus. When we spawn a star, we'll do a star plus plus. And if, let's see here, we spawn stars this way. I'm gonna get rid of update stars. I was gonna say, okay, when we start up, oh, we want to be able to stop the spawn, yeah. public void start. So when we start, we're gonna try some invoke repeating name of spawn stars. We start immediately and we'll repeat every, 3 seconds. So the idea is not every 3 seconds, let's repeat every 1 second. Rather than in our update checking if we need to do more stars, we'll just say, oh, every 1 second we're gonna spawn stars. And then here we will sort of say, wow, spawn stars. We want to spawn, I don't want to spawn them all right away at once. So we'll sort of come out in phases here. At most, int spawned equals 0. And we'll say, well, spawned is less than, let's try 20. And stars is less than max stars. What's nice here is you get students to practice doing Boolean logic with this and. You can force them, not force them, but say, hey, we want it to loop, and these are either of our stopping conditions. So it's nice to have that as a practice here. Okay. The one thing is our star controller, we need to add in a thing, sort of when our star is destructed, there's like, we gotta do a stars minus minus. So we will, let's see if we can get the stars spawning here. I think they'll spawn. Sometimes I write too much code without actually ever running it, and that is just a bad habit to have. All right, here's our background template, background object. The speed controller, I need a star controller, and I also need to randomly set a sprite. Yeah. So sc.sprite is equal to sprites, star sprites, random range from 0 to star sprite dot length. All right, so we'll randomly pick a sprite, throw it out there. Okay. There's another option. Instead of flashing a custom operating system to control the printer, just run as a normal program on the Pi. That's an option. Assuming you can find... Oh yeah, and I wanted to make this a prefab. Background object. All right, so then we delete this. There's one other thing. I want to make it so that our sprite gets a random scale on it too. But let's check out. Max stars is 0 though. 500. Woo! That was cool. Spawned. Plus. Spawned all 500 at the same time. My spawn Y should be move that. My spawn Y should be 6. 5 was right at the edge. All right, my speed is way too fast. So I should add in to this thing here, public float min speed. Go with 1. Public float max speed. 8. And then this will be min. And this will be max speed. But it is not made by the printer manufacturer. But they do have a plug-in for the software. Gotcha. It's always cool. It's always cool. I made a VPN once that was like part of my router's firmware. So made a little. I was really in grad school. We did a lot of work with software-defined networks, and so it was cool to write my own firmware and flash that onto my router. That was a long time ago, though. All right, this is interesting. It looks pretty good. We want to make our Z, we need it to be like behind everything. I think setting this to a negative value should do that. But let's switch to 3D just to make sure. Away from the camera is positive. So I'm a liar. I think. Still too fast. I'm surprised. Start generator. Oh, let's make these serialized so they show up in the editor. Try 5. Apparently 8 is very fast. And spawning 20 at the same time is too many. Let's try 5. It's that a group of them all spawn and go flying down that really throws it off, I think. And maybe they're not starting far enough away. That looks pretty good. What do you think? What do people think? Maybe... Yeah, I think that looks all right. Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. Maybe that's what feels off to me. So let's see what happens if we just delete that guy. Oh, not duplicate, delete. That's looking pretty good. There's something about them sort of spawning as a group and they sort of move together. So I'm wondering if instead, if I spawn one at a time, I'm wondering if that'll look really weird. Oh god. That's not what I wanted. I wanted this if we've not met our maximum number of stars. We'll call this spawn star. I think maybe I need to randomize the X coordinate is what's bothering me. Or sorry, the Y coordinate. That's not what I want. Let me try randomizing the Y coordinate. Spawn Y. Go with min Y. Something about it just feels slightly off to me. Not negative, it should be positive. And this one should be random dot range min y max y. And we'll put back in this while spawned less than 10 and we're getting there. Is it just because I can see them spawning over there that it's bothering me? Maybe the max speed should be 3. I kill. Can't tell what exactly is. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Something. I think it seems fine. I think I'm okay with it. Our prefab here needs to have the on-screen controller so that it kills itself when it falls off. And I was gonna update my on-screen controller. Yeah, when they all spawn as a group coming down like that, it's weird. You can tell they all spawned at the same time. At least it feels that way. Are they spawning too close? Well, now they're too far up. Or enemy laser seems to not be getting removed either. So enemy laser prefab needs to have the on screen controller. We'll look at it again. I can't decide if I like it or I dislike it. I dislike it. Maybe you're probably right. Let's try the big star, getting rid of it. Well, I think it's that like the stars sort of like are coming in waves. So it just feels weird, I think is what it is. I think I actually do want to put this in my update and have it just spawn every frame. It'll spawn a star. Public void update. This is driving me nuts. This plugin I installed is making me crazy. When I don't want it to do stuff, it does stuff. It's nice when I need it. I call spawn star? I did. I think maybe if what's interesting is now I want this to be an if. And I need to track. I think this is what I want. And this will let me sort of control the density. It won't feel like the stars are spawning away. They'll just sort of always be spawning up ahead. Of course, when they get destroyed, I need to inform the generator that there are fewer stars. So in our on-screen controller, we need to add in a sort of callback. All right, so on-screen controller is going to have a public Unity event on-screen controller. I don't even know if I need that. Called on destroyed. And we'll import this. And then after we destroy it, we call on destroyed. So we can register. Formal Goose, ask me a question. Nice to see you again today. Happy Saturday. Happy almost Christmas. Or happy Christmas if you happen to live in the future. Start generator. Yeah, so when we spawn these guys, we're going to say sc.on destroyed. Oh, we know it has. We also are going to require it to have an on-screen controller. Public on-screen controller. But we can even do on destroyed. Public Unity event on destroyed goes to get component on screen controller dot on destroyed. And we'll import this. Okay, on destroyed. Okay, so now on our start on destroyed dot add listener stars minus. That'll be a fun little thing for students potentially to talk about callbacks. Like, oh, well, we want to track this. What are different ways we can do it? We keep like a hash set. Not 100% sure. All right, let's start generator. Way too many stars. Let's drop it down to 100. Let's try 50. Let's try speed 3. I think I like that setting right there. Promo Goose asks, if I was to make a YouTube course start to finish around taking apps that are in the store and rebuilding them in Xamarin Forms, also providing an Azure API that contains all the content needed, a zip pack of the image and icons and font. All right, so max stars was 50, max speed was 3. This looks pretty good. I'm liking this here. Would that benefit people for setup? Yeah, so typically when you're doing an online course, not necessarily an online course, but doing stuff for students, what are you trying to teach is a good question to ask. Is like, what is the outcome that you're trying to get? What are you trying to show? And then make the barrier to entry as easy as possible. So if you can provide some starting stuff for them so they can just like get going on the topic that you're trying to teach, yeah, it's helpful. I often will use like a vagrant when I'm teaching. So I teach a class. I taught a class called Command Line Kung Fu, where it's basically an introduction to Linux class. Getting Linux set up is hard, so I actually just have them install Vagrant, and then give them install VirtualBox, install Vagrant, and I give them some images, different images to load up. That tends to work. All right, I'm liking this background now. The one thing, the way it starts is kind of funny because it just sort of comes out of nowhere. Slows down and then speeds back up. But once it's going, I like it. Once it gets going, I really like it. Okay, so I got my star background. Let's do a commit. Actually feel like if I did my this thing now, it might actually work okay. We're gonna keep trying here. We're trying to get this to look nice, and making things look nice is one of the hardest things you can try and do, in my opinion. Okay, I like that. That feels pretty good. Then we're going to add in 15. Yeah, man, I'm happy with this. This feels great. That background doesn't feel too bad. Okay, let's add in a game over screen. All right, so we're gonna make it so if you get enough death there. We're gonna have a little thing pops up, says game over. But let's do a commit. I'm happy with that. Get chore, add in star generator. Happy with that. Let's see if we can get in a game over screen. All right, so it's part of our canvas here. Move my star generator up. Let's see here. Create a UI. Oh, maybe I can find a nice game over graphic. Let's do that. Yeah, I want to add in G, nice to see you. Happy almost Christmas. Yeah, I want to add in an explosion, so we're gonna add in some particle effects at some point, both for the player and for the enemy ships, as well as sound effects. Oh, and I want my player to be able to take damage. Maybe that's what I'll do next. I'll make my player take damage. I want my player to have 2 hits per ship. Because we have this little graphic here. We do have a little graphic for a damaged ship. So maybe I'll do that. They got these cool little UFOs. I'm gonna add those in. There's lots of things. Oh, and then a shield. So I'll give my player a shield at some point. Okay. Let's go to sprites. We're gonna add in player damaged. So rather than a game over screen, we are going to add in a damage to our player. Yeah, so our player here, player controller. Player controller. We're gonna have. Yikes! This is getting. Well, hang on. Do we have a lean left and lean right for damaged? We don't. We don't. I'm not gonna add in damage because then leaning left and leaning right will look silly. Yeah, we're gonna do a game over screen. We're gonna do a game over screen. Let's see if we can find a nice game over sprite. Go for 2D art. Search. Game over. That one's a little grim. Probably won't use that one. Surprised there aren't more things that just show up with the word game over on. Let's see here. Ooh, these planets. Might use some of those. Alright, I'm a little sad that I did not find a nice game over graphic. I don't like that one. We're just gonna put the text game over on it. So we're gonna add into our canvas a UI element with text. And we're gonna make it so that it's nice and centered on our screen. It's going to say game over. It's going to be in our font. Make it all caps. Game over. Let's try 96. Make the height 96. And our width, we'll have this thing stretch in all directions. That's interesting. Oh, because I gotta say And we're gonna have it be centered like that. Game over. Let's try 72. Make it bold. Game over. Not bad. Yeah, I was a little burnt out on this one as well. I did get it G. I don't know if you saw, I had a really slow solution this morning. And then I ended up memoizing the calculation of every step. I had it memoized. After I memoized that, it was super fast. Game over. And then we'll add in, we'll create a game over screen, and we'll make this take up the whole dealio, and we'll put this text in there, game over text, and I actually think I want that to be up a little bit, and then we'll add in a button that is gonna be insert coin is what the button's gonna say. And when you insert a coin, it'll just restart the game. Let's see here. Image, no image. Text. It's gonna say insert coin. And we will have that font. Try 36. Insert coin. 24. Coin. Ooh, coin. And we will shimmy that down just a hair. Let's make it, this is always annoying. Rectangle transform. Insert coin. We're just gonna hard code it right there. Yeah. Okay. Game over, insert coin. Yeah, man, good old Nickel City. When I was growing up, one of the arcades, so there were 3 arcades, but there were 2 arcades I went to, Tilt, Hinkle, but Hinkle had a section called Nickel City, so all the games were nickel games, 5 cents. Most of the games were like a quarter to $1. In the like really cool games were like $2, 8 quarters, but Nickel City was awesome. Ooh, bummer with the USB-C. That's really annoying. All right, so we are gonna make our game over screen actually not take up the whole thing, but it will stretch in the center, left to right. What if we make the height 300? Then we can shift it up a little bit. Spoiler warning, well, I saw your stream and you were close to the end. The approach of today was based just find all the possible locations for the elves at a single time, then update your blizzard and find all the possible locations of the elves at time +1. That's all. Yeah, gee, that's exactly what I was doing. So I found all the locations. I just wasn't memoizing it. So every time I would move at that layer, so let's say I was at time step 5. So I've gone down 5 layers. I was regenerating that time step like 5 times 5, so 25 times. So once I was at layer like 100, I was regenerating. I was running my blizzards 5,000 times or something like that. So I realized I was doing a lot too much work. I just needed to generate the blizzard the next step once instead of once every time. And once I did that, boom, my solution was solved in under a second for both parts. What do we think about this height here? When I centered, it looks a little weird to me. I'm gonna try here. I think I like it here. I know I'm so finicky. I would be a terrible client because I never know what looks. I'd be a terrible client. And I'm a terrible front end developer in that regard. All right, so we need the game screen observes our game controller. It's the number of lives it has. So when it reaches 0 lives, it needs to activate the game over screen. So the game over screen is inactive, but our game control needs a reference to it. And so we're gonna call this our game over screen controller. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Scripts. Create a folder, game controller. And we're gonna move our game controller in there. Trying to keep things somewhat organized. Yeah, polishing too early. What, it's sort of like premature optimization, premature polishing. Game over screen controller. And the game over screen controller is gonna be attached to, require it to be attached to a game controller type of. That way we can get our game controller. And then on our game controller, so we attach that there, and then this thing has a reference to a game object. Game over screen. Yeah. Like that. Or really, this is a little backwards. I actually want done this in a dumb way. The game over screen just sort of pops up. So instead, I really should be doing my game controller. I just am tired of adding new things into this file here. I feel like I've got to do better in the code. Well, the problem is sometimes your games are never done, right? Well, that's interesting. There is one of my favorite game jams is a weekly game jam. It runs. So there's a game jam called Try Jam that I love, and their whole premise is 3 hours. Make a game in 3 hours. Roducey, thank you for the follow. I hope you're enjoying the stream. If the game feel like the game's not done, make a sequel. Yeah, so try jam, 3-hour game jam, 3 days, 3 hours. The premise is that you can spend as much time as you want planning and think, so like getting assets, thinking about what you're gonna do, drawing out how your objects are gonna work together. But the time you spend coding, you can only spend 3 hours, at most 3 hours coding. So it's like a really focus on like, okay, what is important? What do I need to get done here? And I love doing it. It's maybe high stress, but I really enjoy doing it. So destroy player. If lives remaining less than or equal to 0, game over screen dot set active true. All right, so we turn our game over screen on if that's the case. So that was easy. Made a big old deal about it. Get rid of my game over screen controller because it doesn't do anything. And really, I need an insert coin thing here. And what this is going to do is it's going to set lives remaining equals 3. And then spawn player. Oh, and then we got to set this active to false. And we should probably blow up everything on the screen in the case of that as well. But we'll think about that in a minute. Merry Christmas, G. I still have, what is that? It's 4 o'clock, so I have 8 more hours here in Arizona. As a kid, I always liked making games. Oh, unassigned reference. Bummer. Game controller. Remove this component. Yuck. Okay, so game over screen. Look how horrible this is. I need to break this up for sure. This is whole bad. Clear. All right, try again. I was making games when I was, I don't know if anyone here ever used bulletin board system, BBS, but my dad used to run a bulletin board system when we were growing up. And we used to call other bulletin board systems and play them. They had what are called door games. And I used to love them. And I ended up making my own door game. My very first game I made was sort of a multiplayer door game that it's called the Monster Mash. And the premise is you have to survive until midnight. No, survive until the sun comes up. So it's midnight and you're in Transylvania and you have to survive until the sun rises. And essentially you go into this graveyard and you fight monsters. And then I think it ran for 5 days. You have to survive the night. So you have to fight through the night. You have to beat 20 monsters per day. And then you come back the next day and keep playing. And you have to survive until the sun rises. And every day at the end of 20 fights, there's like a new boss. And they're fighting like the Wolfman, Swamp Thing, Frankenstein, Creature from the Black Lagoon. And then the final boss was Dracula. My insert coin, I can't click on it. It must be behind the screen here. I can't get to this button. And it's because this game over screen's on top of it. There we go. No, why can't I click my button? If I were to move it out here, something's on top of it. That's cool. That's cool. I was a big fan of MUDs, and then I played EverQuest for a long time. EverQuest, cool. I don't know why I can't click my button. It's stuck behind everything. I'm pretty sure what's happening is that this game over text is on top of it. I need to shrink it down. Where is the game over text? All right, we're gonna make it so it stretches in the center left to right. Height 96. 72. This is really weird. I can't click the button. And I don't know why. Oh. My button has no click listener. So it's gonna be game controller insert coin. I think I still couldn't click it, but now I can. Insert coin. I think it's still trapped under something. What the heck? Or it's... What is happening? Why can't I click my button? Make me sad. My canvas. Game over. Screen. Game over screen takes up the full stretch left to right. Take up everything. My game over text has some weird thing going on with it. Let's try this again. I call insert coin. Game over screen goes false. I'm not clicking it. I don't know what's going on. Oh, I think I disabled my event system. Yes, I did. Oh God. It's because I don't want... These things are not defined and I don't care about them. Do I really need horizontal, vertical? Oh my goodness. How annoying is that? Okay. So, move my text back here. I still click it. Yeah. Okay, so now our game over screen will start. Gone. Ugh. We'll go die. Want my player to be on top of everything too. Die. Insert coin. Okay. All right. Wow, that was really annoying. Apparently in our event system, I'd love to be able to ignore that, but that's fine. Got that. Let me do a commit since I've added in my game over screen. Or add game over screen and insert coin method. All right. All right. Pretty good. Pretty good stuff here. Let's add in a start screen. Add in a start screen. That also has the insert coin. And the only real difference here is that this will say Space Raiders. In slightly smaller font. And then we'll add in a... Yeah, that's it. Add in an insert coin, Space Raiders, maybe something else, I'm not sure. And then when we start our game controller at the beginning, we start with 0 lives, so it won't actually spawn us in. And we would want to make it so that way no enemies. Oh, that's interesting. Because I think I have right now at the very beginning start. We do all of this stuff here. So this should instead be inside of our insert coin method. And we should also do start screen set active false. And we won't spawn the player twice. Okay. And we'll need to add something to our enemy spawner to sort of like remove enemies or something along those lines to destroy all the enemies on the screen. We need to add in a start screen. So real quick. And here, I'm gonna move these to the top. Like this. And we'll come over here and we attach the start screen. To our game controller. Start screen. That's interesting that this is down here like that. So our lives count, we can just start with none. Okay. I need to reset my score too. That's another thing I need to do. score equals 0. And we need to sort of make our enemy spawner a little bit more interesting. Right now it spawns 3 guys and then you're done. If I die... get game over. And it can come back. It's going to add some additional guys get spawned in there. Yeah, so we should actually clear out on insert coin. We'll do a private void destroy all. And this will find all of our enemies and asteroids and just remove them. That's an interesting find. Turns the first active, find objects of type. What are the... Get a list of all loaded objects of the type asteroid controller? This is interesting. I've never used this. Asteroids. For each... Well, I guess I could just do this. Asteroid in... Asteroid dot... Is there a destroy? No, there isn't. We will just do destroy asteroid dot game object, and we'll do the same thing for our enemy ship controller. And really, I should put a... Could I actually do on screen controller? That's probably what I want to do, actually. Or destructible to destroy. See if that works. That's interesting. I've never used this method before. True, but we're gonna go see. Oh, Vivax, I'm so sorry to hear your Raspberry Pi's giving you trouble. That's a super bummer, my friend. Have you tried turning it off and back on again? Sorry, I had to say it. I didn't actually call destroy all. It's up here. Okay, and let's try and die here. Definitely want my enemy ship to be above my asteroids. And bullets as well. It worked for my those. Oh, my enemy ships must not have that attached to them. Let's go to our prefab here. I have so many Raspberry Pis. I have one. I don't have a Raspberry Pi 1 like the original. I have a 2, a 3, then like a 4B plus or something. I have several. I use them for just random. They're fun. They're fun, random little projects. So I have one connected with like an emulator. It's like running an emulation station on it. That has a bunch of old Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and PlayStation games on it, just for ease. We were gonna update our enemy ship to have, what was it? Destructible controller? Oh boy, I have so many. Okay, so I actually want to search for destructible controller. Because Asteroid's the only one that has the on-screen controller. Destructible is what I want to look for. Destructible controller. Let's try that. I used one to build a sprinkler system as well in the past. And then Node MCUs, they're much smaller. But Node MCUs are really fun little microcontrollers for doing cool things. I built a humidity like monitor. All right, so my asteroids got destroyed. I gotta die again. Get my game over screen. Should really add in some containers for spawning them, because right now it's just spawning out in the open. And the laser. Cool. This worked pretty well. The laser floating around is not quite what I want. I do think I want to go back to on-screen control. I need to add that too. I don't necessarily want that on my enemy ships though, because they might fly off the screen and do some weird stuff. Let's go with destructible for now, as well as, and then I'll also do a search for my on-screen controllers. All right, that'll work for now. We'll test it one more time. And then I'm probably going to call it here, and a little earlier than I normally would, but I'm kind of tired. I'm kind of sleepy. Might take a nap. Oh, now it destroys the stars. Because the stars have the on-screen controller. Ugh. That's fine. Close enough. I don't like... Ah, running Ubuntu on your Pi. Has slightly different instructions. Alright, let's make sure our scene is saved. But, add git commit. We add in start screen. There we go. All right, so we managed to get the things we wanted to get done today. We have essentially a prototype here, right? So I could very easily turn this. I'm gonna add a few more things. I want to add power-ups and at least one more enemy type. But a power-up to get a shield, and a power-up that like gives you a better weapon or something. And then we're basically done. I keep saying basically done. Then I gotta add sound, I gotta add, never mind, there's plenty more to do. Plenty more to do here. But you know, this is pretty close to something that I could use to turn into a actual project. That high score would be cool. High score is a good idea too. Ooh, that would be a fun little thing to do. Have a high score and have it connected to a database out in the real world, right? Have it connected to an actual database. And then if you could publish this and have it connect to that. That would be cool. But then you'd have to deal with logins and all sorts of nastiness. So probably won't do that. That'd be fun. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out. It was super fun. Super fun. We made some progress. And that's all you can really ask for. It's like keep making progress. Merry Christmas, everyone. I'll be back tomorrow for the final day 25 Advent of Code. But have a wonderful night, wonderful day, wonderful everything. And of course, you're welcome back anytime. Bye-bye.